Hello, my name is Ginny Wilder, and I serve as the rector canon here at St. Michael's Episcopal Church in Bristol, Rhode Island. And I thought I would take today as an opportunity to share with you my origin story, my call to ordained ministry story. We have to go all the way back to around 1976. And on this particular day, I was playing a game called The Floor is Lava, where in my imagination, the floor was lava. And I was building a pathway using books from my little bookshelf, from my door to the bed and back to the door, and constructing and reconstructing a pathway, challenging myself, tweaking it, and making sure that I was safe, and sometimes taking a bigger risk, skipping every other book, which actually is a nice metaphor for following Christ and walking into ordained ministry. But on this particular day, I was tweaking and reshaping and reconstructing and enjoying it all. But at one moment, I felt this overwhelming sense of urgency to pick up a radio that was in my room, unplugged and not turned on, and I took this radio and I put it up to my ear. And at first, there was nothing. And then there was static. And it was in the static that I heard what was the voice of God, not with words, but with this sense of deep understanding. And it was in that deep understanding that I heard God call me by name and ask me to be God's priest. It's pretty significant, right? And then I sat with that for a little while. I'm like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? And I thought for a moment, well, maybe I'll just get back to building my bridges and playing The Floor is Lava and just kind of let this thing slide off into, non-existence. But then my little body and my little heart was like, well, what if this is really God? I can't ignore God, can I? And it was with that I walked out of my room, not really worried about the lava anymore, walked down the hallway to where my parents were, and I shared with them what had happened, about the overwhelming sense of putting something inanimate up to my ear and in it hearing this deep understanding that changed my life forever. So you can imagine what my parents might have felt in the moment of me sharing with them this story. Was I making it up? Was I living into an overactive imagination? What was going on? What could possibly cause me to feel this or sense this or experience this? And my parents, I give them all the credit in the world for being the caretakers of this story for the years that I wasn't prepared or ready to do that. But my parents, they reached out to our priest, and they made a time to visit with our priest and talk about what I had shared with them. And the priest of our church told my parents that I had serious mental health issues and that I was hearing voices and that I needed help. And with that, my parents let the story just simmer for years, never ever forcing me or encouraging me or overstepping any boundary or relationship that would have guided me in any other way other than for me to discover this all on my own. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for that because today, June the 30th, I am celebrating my 14th anniversary of being an ordained priest in the Episcopal Church. And I can't help but wonder if it had been manufactured if it had been overwrought, if it had been in such a way where everything was just so geared specifically to this call and everything else fell away, I'm just not sure I would have arrived here, you know? Like, the journey has been beautiful and hard and beautiful and difficult and beautiful and overwhelming and beautiful and loving. But it had to happen the way that it did. And it began in my bedroom playing The Floor is Lava. Like all good journeys, there's risk involved, there's uncertainty, there's hope, there's doubt, there's wonder, there's worry. And I would not be telling the truth if I thought that never happened in my journey towards the priesthood, because it did. I would be lying if I said that didn't happen in my journey of faith either, because it did. But I'm here today, celebrating the 14th anniversary of my ordination. And there's not a day that goes by where I don't think about that little child playing The Floor is Lava, holding that radio up to their ear, and hearing in that the deep understanding that God calls each of us into this journey. Well, that's my origin story. Thank you for listening. I would love for you to share below any opportunities that you have heard God call you. What did it sound like? What did it feel like? What was going on? I would love to hear part of your story if you feel like sharing. And also, feel free to subscribe, because there's lots more to the story I want to share with you. For now, I'm grateful for you listening to this part of my story, and I look forward to hearing part of yours. Take care, and God bless.